Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I did put my Christmas decor up. I got my garland up. I love having a lighted garland back there. Still got my lamp. I'll have to give you a tour sometime, but I got a little tree over here on this little like side table. There's a cute little reindeer back there, but if I have my shot too far that way, it starts to want to focus back there on the lamp and not on my face. But even though I am in the holiday spirit decor wise, I still feel that we should recognize we are very much in the heart of fall makeup season, and we can't stop embracing that and trying to pull off looks that give us that fall vibe. I love a fall look. I mean, it's November 11th, it's Veterans Day. By the way, thank you to all of those out there who have served our country, those who have sacrificed their lives for us, and the families also of the brave men and women who serve our country. Thank you so much. I realize when this video finally posts, this will be a couple days after, but just wanted to say that. But I'm clinging to fall looks still, and I thought sometimes if I would say the word like, let's do a rich fall makeup look, what bells immediately go off in your mind? You probably think, okay, this is going to be an intense eye, this is going to be a lot of steps to follow, the lip's going to be real rich and intricate and maybe something I don't want to wear all day. Well, here what I want to do is make it very approachable in this video. And I thought, what if I challenge myself to really keep everything to one step? Like obviously, okay, a foundation, a concealer, a powder, but like getting into the eye, a one-step eye, a one-step lip. Like I'm looking at the products I pulled out, a one-step brow. It's gonna be so minimal, but I hope I can still pull off that rich fall vibe that I need, okay? So let's get started and see how it goes. I'm going to begin with a very easy to apply product, and by the way, most of this look is gonna be drugstore. First things first, I'm using my Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator, one of my favorite base products, really. I wear this in the shade Light, and I just always feel like my skin comes away looking so good when I use this. It's thin, it's lightweight, it adds moisture, but it is oil-free. Dang, I might be getting low on it. I'm really squeezing it out, but they say I already put my skincare on, obviously. That's how I come to you most days, with the skincare on. Oh, and I've been using that snail mucin essence stuff from Dollar Tree. Does this sound suspect to anyone else? I had just run out of my hyaluronic acid and I'm kind of using it in that step, and it's been really nice. I'm using this e.l.f. buffing brush. And we're just gonna blend this in, and it really is gonna give us some nice, like, sort of light to medium coverage. It just perks up my skin tone. Maybe it's the shade too. The shade Light in this stuff is like a little bit peachy, and it just gives my skin tone a lift. It doesn't completely change my skin tone, but it just gives me a little color. I woke up this morning, my alarm went off, I was in a sound sleep, I was in a deep dream, and I'm to the point now where I can't even remember any of the specifics of the dream, but I remember how I was feeling, okay? Has anybody else had that? Like, I feel maybe slightly spooked. I feel a little weird. I'm having the feeling from the dream, but I can't remember the content of the dream. I know there were other people. I know I was in an unfamiliar place. There was nobody I knew. I really can't think of any specifics. All right, there's Wet n Wild Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator, all blended in. That product's always a winner. It's so easy to work with. Would highly recommend this to anybody just at first building their makeup stash, you know? And then for concealer, I'm gonna go with kind of a serious coverage concealer. So I'm using my L'Oreal Infallible. This is the Full Wear Concealer in Ivory. This does tend to wear pretty well on me if I don't go too much with it, you know, like keep the dots kind of small, but it really covers so well. It's brightening, and I just feel like that's what we need. As always, I spread with this Morphe brush. I hope some of you guys saw my post that I put on Instagram sharing the fact that Morphe brushes were like 40% off or something on Ulta's website for a while there. And I linked this one and the two eye brushes I'm always using. It's a really good deal because they're not that expensive to begin with. So 40% off is pretty awesome for a high quality brush. So we've got it spread. Look how brightened, like look how full on things are already looking up on that under eye. Then take the brush you used for foundation or tinted hydrator. And I'm finding myself just going over and I'm doing little press, press, press motions. Okay, look at that. Added coverage. Anybody else love like a turtleneck that doesn't smother you? A turtleneck like this, would this be called a mock neck? I want to be owning some turtlenecks because I don't always like the thickness and heaviness and hotness of a super intense sweater. I don't like getting too hot, okay? It's starting to get cold outside, but I still don't want to be too hot. But these, you know, I think the brand is Jones New York, but I got it from TJ Maxx like a long time ago. Nice thing about a turtleneck is it's like t-shirt weight, you know? It just comes up a little bit and it makes you feel maybe a little fancy to have the turtleneck. That concealer has done a lot of work here because I feel like the under eye circles are really circling. Speaking of which, I'm gonna have some coffee. I've been on Folgers for a long time. Like, I just like a Folgers K-Cup with that zero sugar Italian sweet cream and a packet of stevia. Like, that is my coffee. And I add so little creamer that it only looks the slightest step up from black. But I got this sampler pack from Walmart of like other classic coffees because I thought maybe I'm missing out, you know? I really do like the Folgers. I still think the Folgers is the best. This is the Nantucket blend. By the way, this is my Erica mug. Thank you, Erica. I know it says Emily, but Erica gave it to me. It came with all these different kinds. It came with the McDonald's McCafe. It comes with the donut shop, which all of these are okay and workable. But I still feel like I've got a taste for Folgers, just the classic. There are a lot of light to medium roasts that just don't feel like enough to me, actually. I'm to that phase in life, I guess. Either they don't feel like enough to me or they've got a twang. Okay, we're gonna set. And I thought, let's pull out a setting powder we haven't used a ton of lately. Wet n Wild Photo Focus, just in the translucent. And I'm gonna see if I can just kind of make this work as an all over face powder and just use two different applicators. You know what I mean? I'm using the triangle powder puff with it. I think I might have picked up too much. There was like a big pool of product. Use the puff on the under eye and then just super lightly with a brush, like rake over the rest of the skin. So we're keeping it more one step. See, I thought about it. I strategized with it. Trying to keep it simple, bring people into the rich fall glam because it's gonna get rich here pretty soon. So the triangle powder puff has had its moment. And then I take my little Morphe under eye bullet and dust away any excess. That's a good powder, you know, that is a good solid powder any way you slice it. And then I'm kind of taking that brush and whatever else is on it, I'm saying, hey, you want to go around other spots? Barely anything on it. We're not going to look like a big, everything is light and bright as the under eye. It's not going to get that way, but I'm feeling a little set. Next, I'm going to go for some bronzer because I do feel like the bronzer is a step you don't want to skip when things are due to become intense on the eyes and the lips. You don't want your skin to just kind of fall away. It needs to hold some radiance there. I love Wet Shady Beaches from Wet n Wild, even though my dear sweet cap has fallen off completely. It is such a good bronzer. And I'm going into it with this Morphe Powder Bronzer M241 brush, lightly because it's pigmented. And I'm going to get this around my hairline. I was thinking of using a duo stick for bronzer blush, and I thought that'll make it real easy, but the blush wasn't one that I really wanted to have as part of this look, so really getting it straight up there to the hairline. This is buildable, easy. See, we just did a little easy soft contour there. After that powder, we're making sure everything still had some dimension, little life. Even if you're not a big blush person, you know what you could do is kind of like build your bronzer a little bit, thinking about putting it in kind of a blushy zone. Could I do that? Just to make it even easier. I'm putting it right where I would apply blush, so a little higher than the contour step, and I'm going really sheer with it. Does that almost look like neutral toasty blush, or do we still need some blush? I'm not gonna be so hardcore with this look that I skip blush, let's face it. The blush I chose, you know, they're still selling Maybelline Fit Me blushes, and they're good, and they're approachable. They're not ones you have to be like so careful with, and I've always thought this one called Wine was kind of like Snow White's blush, but it just always looks good. Kind of an in from the cold rosy that I think we need. Again, going deep on eyes and lips, take care of those cheeks. There we go with that. It's always good. The nude one is good too. And it's got like a little satin finish, which is nice. Because that little satin finish is the only glow I'm gonna do on cheeks. I'm not even gonna reach over for some highlight. This is where the complexion ends, and I feel it was fairly minimal. Okay, for brows can totally be one step. I say it all the time, get you an express brow, aka Brow Fast Sculpt from Maybelline. Love this product. I wear this in the shade medium brown, and what you first might do is just brush your brows up a little bit. Like, my brows get real slept on. Sometimes they look funny when I wake up in the morning. Brush them through a little. You know what I did back there on my garland, by the way? Took the same garland I've been putting on there and white lights. I went white instead of colored because I feel like the white then will continue to last me as I keep having them up and referring to them as winter lights. I think the white kind of works for that a little better. But I went colored, full on colored in the living room. I've got a tree and I've got a garland near the TV and it's all colored lights and it makes me so happy. But I have this like light pinky silvery tinsel kind of very classic garland that I just kind of wrapped in there with the lights. and I think it looks pretty good. Anyways, Brow Fast Sculpt. In case you're not familiar with this product, short bristles on the bottom, longer bristles on the top. So the short bristles are gonna load your brow up with more product. You just have to really look at it though. You're like, okay, which side? Short bristles have more product in it, so that's gonna like really fill you in, and that's gonna be important if you're not using anything else in your brows. And then those longer bristles, they will not overload you. They're just not capable of being super gooped up. So now I'm using those longer bristles and just like fluffing the brow a little bit, and you feel that hold just immediately, which is so cool. But yeah, there's a brow. There's a totally workable brow. The challenge will be my left brow, which always just is a little more difficult. This is a fairly new product, so it's pretty juicy. Like I recently restocked this. So again, I'm going with the side that has more first, and I'm just taking it over the brow. Usually that part doesn't come too much in contact with this inner corner because I don't want that looking too heavy. Now we switch to the longer bristle, lighter application side. And this may not work for everybody, because I know some people are really starting from nothing with a brow and having to create it from scratch, and you wouldn't dream of just starting with this. You need some kind of pencil or fill-in step that helps you draw it on, you know? So stick with what you need to do, but this is an option if you do have some existing brow hair there. See, I think that works. That's so good. This is the part that I think is gonna challenge me most in this video, because I'm gonna try to do just a one-step eye, but I want it to be rich, not just light and airy. I want it to create rich fall glam, you know? But can I do it with a shadow stick? I think I can probably do it with one of the most blendable shadow sticks I own. So I'm gonna take my dear friend Brown Abyss from the L'Oreal Lay Shadow Stick range, and I think I'm gonna like get this all over my lid, kind of blend it up a little bit, smudge it on the lower lash line, and just make a whole thing of it. I saw somebody not too long ago truly blending out cream eyeshadow with just a blending brush. Sometimes I get it in my head like, oh, I'm using a cream shadow. I need to bring out something smaller, stiff, or more dense to work with it. But I think I'm gonna try her technique with that. I'm gonna have that ready. But I'm also gonna have, like, I'm just looking at the brushes I have here. Ooh, this one might be extra good. Actually, it's less pointed in the cut, this one from Real Techniques, but it's still like a blending brush. It says Essential Crease Brush. That might be good. And then if I do need something stiffer, if I'm running into trouble and really need to go in there with more pressure, this one called the Shading Brush. So these both came from a Real Techniques set. Let's stop stalling. This is a product that's gonna set for long wear. I'm not even sure I have to have a primer on under it, so we're just gonna keep it truly a one-step eye. And I'm gonna take this, like typically this is a shade I wear as liner, but I'm wanting it to be a rich look. And I'm putting it all through my lash line. And then notice how I'm kind of like dabbing and dotting it above that for a little lighter application. But I'm in the crease now. I'm touching the crease. It's getting serious. I'm gonna take my little bit stiffer brush, and this is gonna help us with evenness. But then I'm really gonna see if I can blend. I'm gonna add more. Go for it, Em. Just try it. Take the leap. You can do it. Going for pretty much the exact shape I want. Just gonna lift. This does have a little shimmer in it if you're not familiar. It's a nice kind of classic, cool type of brown. And then just get in there with some blending. Can it be done? It is blending. By golly. Okay. Blending it here too. Oh. Maybe I can be a one-step shadow stick kind of person. In the inner corner, it's a little touchy because it's like you've got darkness. Instead of like fading into a light shade, we're pretty much dark all over. And yes, I am pretty much fully focusing on one eye before I go to the other, just because I don't want anything to start to set on me. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the under eye part of it too. Another fun thing I was thinking, I could throw on a lash. It might just be fun. And then I'm gonna reinforce like the liner part of it here. Make sure that's staying nice and dark, close to that upper lash line. Okay, let's see if I can make the other eye look like this. So I started by going toward the lash line with the most intensity, like just drawing it on like a crayon. And then I ultimately ended up being pretty much just as intense with it, but thinking about the shape, like literally giving myself a little gentle outer V, coming up with it some, Being real careful as we go in this way to not get like too high, but outline the shape. Take something stiff and sort of make sure it's somewhat even, and then blend like heck with your blender brush. I mean, it really is softening it out and blending it. It's just trickier than powder shadow if that's what you're really used to. I need to build a little bit. I'm really aggressively blending, like my life depends on it, but I'm also not just staying on the edge. I'm kind of, unfortunately, knocking down my intensity overall. I need to stay a bit more edge focused with it. Gosh, something pretty good, I think. I would say any crease brush you have that's just maybe a little smaller, this one's perfect for it. It's called Essential Crease Brush. And then we can't forget lower lash line. So I also went across the upper lash line to really make sure it was dark there. Right by the lashes, and then down here. I just realized if I put lashes on, that pulls the eye into being more steps. Oh, it'd be good to try sometime as a one-step lash, a pre-glued lash. Sorry, I felt like I had a spot there that needed more attention. I can't believe I'm actually kind of blending that like it's powder almost. And it feels kind of like it's working. This is my one high-end product that I'm going to use today, and it is my Too Faced Ribbon Wrapped, because I really like this tubing mascara on upper lashes, and then of course it's giving us the tubing benefits on the lower lashes too of no smudging. So I'm going to do that. I need a little Christmas hand mirror though. I love this shape and size from Profusion. I love the little spikies at the tip of the brush. Why can't more brands make brushes that have that? It literally like finds lashes you didn't realize you had on your inner corner because it's just willing to reach in there and grab them. And it's got some product on it, so it's not like it's just sweeping through with nothing. Good design. What's sad is when you look at websites that carry Too Faced and you see how few palettes seem to exist from that brand that seem to just be a palette juggernaut, you know? They always had cute stuff, and now it's like they're Born This Way, Natural Nudes, or whatever it's called. Like, that's what they got. And a couple little smaller takes on that. Man, like, where's the fun stuff, Too Faced? Some of us still want that. Like, I still have the fun palettes they've made. You know, I've got over there in my drawer, they're Apple in Love and Pumpkin Spice and different things. I don't really want to frustrate my viewers by pulling out that stuff a lot, and it's like people have trouble finding it. I hope this eye looks okay. As I look up close, I'm kind of like seeing a few little spots where maybe I might need to blend more. Not majorly, I'm just being picky, you know? I'm just used to seeing powder shadow looks that can look so exactly the way I wanted them to be, you know? I'm slightly more out of control with a shadow stick, but yet I want to be able to pass along the convenience and the richness, you know? That's what this look is about. Doing something rich, but not feeling like it's a massive task. I was looking through my powder shadow singles. Oops. Oh, I really got myself on the nose. I was going through my powder shadow singles. I just simply don't own that much, single-wise. Why did I do that to my nose? I think it'll flake off, but man. Yes. Thank you very much. Always, though, if you have to do something like that, go over with the last brush you used some powder with, because sometimes you do take off, unfortunately, a little bit of makeup. I've got my upper coat on, and I think the eye's looking great, and I'm going to put this on the lower lash line. Again, tubing, no risk of smudging. Is anybody else watching Days of Our Lives? And how emotional and heartbreaking was it when Leo and Javi had to give up baby T? I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry if I can't. I'm doing mascara right now. Why? Why did I bring that up? Too emotional. Gosh. I cried when I finished decorating our big Christmas tree. I was looking at all the ornaments from like baby's first Christmas, and I just cried. Look at this. Ugh. Good. Honestly, like, I'm loving the way the face and the eye are looking so much right now. I could be content with pairing a nude lip with this and just going for it, but I'm still sticking with the idea of Rich Fall Glam, which I think kind of needs to have some boldness on the lip, but it's going to be easy boldness. Man, we did it. We did a one-step eye. plus mascara. Oh, I just got a notification from Weather Channel. Brr, it's below freezing. Watch for black ice on the roads. Here's what I'm gonna try. I think some of these like click up sticks can be so good about being intense, being glossy, and the intensity is therefore giving a little definition. I want to try the shade called Truffle with this look today. I think it's going to be good. Another shade that's downstairs in my purse that I take with me everywhere is Wicked Cherry from e.l.f. Same format. I'm always throwing that on, but it's not really all that dark. Is this going to be... I think this might be good. If not, we can go back to the drawing board. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's giving cool, glossy brown lip. It's not a scary brown. It's definitely a brown lip for those who just want to dip their toe in. See that? There is some sheerness here. Oh, it feels really good. I really like this look. And outside of the lip, I do know that this is going to be long wear. If you wanted to make the lip long wear, grab like a Super Stay Matte Ink crayon or something like that. Or I was also considering doing a staining step and then just leaving it be. But then I decided, no, I want some shine. If you go with a one-step lip and you're also wanting shine, that may not be your longest wearing component of the look. But the eye, I think, is going to wear great today. And I know the Bare Focus Tinted Hydrator does a good job for me, as does that L'Oreal concealer. So there's our rich fall glam, but we kept the things to like one-step, easy, approachable products. Let me know in the comments section if this is something you're gonna try. Hold on to fall makeup a little longer, but I do have some fun plans for holiday glam as well. So stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for your time today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. I love you. Bye.